Good afternoon to you as well, televiewers, and thanks for staying with us. In this second segment of the newscast, Amazonian leaders, SISIKU, AYUK, and 46 others who were extradited from Nigeria to Cameroon early January this year and detained at the State Defense Secretariat in Yaoundé have finally met with their lawyers on Friday, June 22nd. It was a move by governments to prove the Amazonian leaders are still alive, safe and sound. It is the first time and first group of persons visiting AYUK, SISIKU, Tabe and Co. ever since they were detained in Yaoundé. And now we take you to the southwest region of the country, where council activities have been paralyzed by continuous violence and threats from Amazonian fighters. We have details with Derek Jato.
The Amazonian Defense Forces have closed down most councils in the southwest region.
The activities of the councils are completely grounded. The councils cannot operate.
And the affected mayors are on the run.
People are on the run, including the mayor. I think I shouldn't tell lies here. People are on the run, including the mayor. So the situation is desperate.
Chief Bate Epe Robert, mayor of Tinto, a council in Manu Division, appeared from his undisclosed hideout and painted the picture on the ground.
And I am saying here that even to go down and open your office is just tantamount to inviting yourself. Because people have been chased away, and those who are still hanging around cannot go to the office. Because people are organizing those offices, they want a complete, that the council to not function. I come here, I'm not been to my office for the past 1 month. I don't want to talk to other persons. I hear that people are not going to the office for the past 3 months.
Today, the National Community-Driven Development Program, PNDP, is launching the second edition of Performance Basket for 2018.
The Performance Basket of PNDP is a medium where the PNDP evaluate the performance of councils and reward them for the performance. The reward may be in cash, but what we based on is not just the cash, but how the councils improve in their management and administrative skills.
But how can such a program be carried out in a region that everything is seemingly on a standstill?
We have tried to appeal to the mayors that no matter the circumstances, they should make an effort to take part in this activity. They will go to show proof that even despite the situation that they are going through, and this will attract more interest and probably more sympathy.
Even at this launch in Limbe, that was supposed to have the 31 mayors of the southwest region in attendance, only 5 mayors were present.
I can't speak for the mayors who are not here. So I think it will be advisable for you to meet Limbe, for you to meet the mayor of Limbe, for example, to find out. But all the mayors were invited.
Mr. Nkem David, the Southwest Regional Coordinator of PNDP, says a new strategy will be formulated. The Performance Basket technical team engaged by the Southwest Governor was also installed, and these members are having a 2-year mandate.
Widows in Cameroon have joined their counterparts across the world to celebrate the International Widows Day. Focus was on the challenges that this group of persons face in the society. And for me, Armstrong Sander reports.
Maltreatment of widows represents one of the worst human rights violations and is a principal obstacle to her participation in public and political life as well as today's community development. Widows are discriminated upon, refused the right to inheritance, accused of witchcraft, sent out of marital homes, raped, and sometimes forced to remarry in-laws. According to the United Nations Women, This practice makes the life of widows disastrous.
These widows you have, they are socially weak, they are socially behind, and they don't even know, they are even hidden, and they are even ignored. And sometimes these widows have the in-laws drive them from the house. The in-laws don't even want to give them documents.
In an effort to give particular attention to the situation of widows of all ages, culture and origin, the United Nations General Assembly instituted the 23rd of June every year as the International Widows Day. On this day, member states dedicate special attention to the plight of widows and draw public conscience to their vulnerability.
Yesterday, we had a judicial activity. We have some lawyers who came to talk to the widows, and the widows were talking their sufferings, telling how they drove. Some of them said they have driven them from the house. Some of them said they have taken their documents, so they cannot make even to have the pension of their husband. And then some of them even say the in-laws don't even want to see them. So all that the lawyers are taking care, and then even the CMPS.
It is within this framework that the United Nations Women assembled over 200 women, administrators, religious and traditional leaders to raise awareness on the plight of widows in the Littoral region and Cameroon in general. They place forward recommendations to improve widows' participation in political and leadership positions. The same objective was the central message of the International Widows' Day celebration in Lum, Mongo division of the Littoral region. Here, the widows painted out their daily realities. This day in Lum as well as in Douala came as a direct positive response from the public to the hardship that widows face daily. The theme of this year's celebration is built on amelioration of the situation of widows.
A group of marijuana dealers in Bafang has been dismantled by security forces with a dose of the drug seized from them by the said security forces. We have details of this report with Franklin Wabe.
4 persons have been caught with marijuana in Bafang subdivision of the West region. Amongst the 4, 2 Mboro teenagers, Yusufa Hassar and Yahoma, aged 16 and 14 years respectively, were caught by the forces of law and order traveling with a bag of drugs in Bana quarter of Bafang.
A Cameroonian tell us that he saw 2 young boys traveling with a bag. Inside the bag, he saw a bad things called drugs. So we went in Bana Kota, Bafang, arrest the 2 young men, Bororo, 14 and 16 years.
When the teenagers were questioned where they got the drugs, they confessed to have bought the drugs from a certain Itemba Toma and his friend Dachoa, who are aged 63 and 61 years respectively, who cultivate the weed in their homes.
Pa called Itembe Toma is the man who used to sell them the drugs. We went to Monk quarter and arrest the Pa. When we reached there, we see the Itembe and Dachua with the drugs in their hands.
The Commissioner of Police for Bafang Subdivision, Bidzaha Fandai, says
nous demandons toujours, le policier n'est pas sorcier, le policier est celui qui...
The police is not a witch, but in charge of verifying information and taking the right actions to bring justice in cases like this. The Commissioner further beckoned on the population of Bafang to work in collaboration with the forces of law and order.
Jean-Enes Masinangale Bibehe, Minister of Transport, was in the economic capital Douala recently. Notably, had a Douala seaport where he discovered that there were some inefficiencies rocking the Douala seaport. He urged authorities of the Douala seaport to boost their effort in ensuring that the inefficiencies are counteracted or surmounted, and for benefit or for good services to be rendered to the populace. Babla Jonathan has more. We see coming back to this report where Transport Minister Jean-Ernest Masina Ngale-Bibehe was on a working visit to the economic capital Douala, notably at the Douala seaport, where he witnessed that a lot of inefficiencies was rocking the Douala seaport. He has authorities to boost their efforts in ensuring that these inefficiencies are surmounted for quality services to be rendered to the population. Babla Jonathan.
The Douala Seaport is a strategic maritime transport amenity in the Central African sub-region, with landlocked countries like the Central African Republic and Chad depending on it. Close to 95% of maritime and trade activities in Cameroon go through the seaport. However, the Douala Seaport is plagued by several inefficiencies. One of them concerns infrastructures that have been fading out of capacity over the years.
Ces installations portuaires ont atteint la fin de leur cycle de vie normal.
The lifespan of the infrastructures have elapsed while transactions continue increasing to over 12 million tons of goods per year.
12 millions de tonnes.
And this is why Transport Minister Ernest Masina Ngale-Bibehe, on a working visit to Douala, urged the seaport authorities to step up efforts geared towards upgrading services for a more fluid import and export activities.
Port autonome de Douala et le corridor national doivent reformer.
The Douala Port Authority has to reform and modernize its activities in all domains: anchoring of ships, loading and offloading of ships, storing of goods, procedures, infrastructures, transport, security, and so on.
Sécurité et j'en passe.
Le port autonome de Douala, dans le cadre de ces missions, a obtenu le feu vert du gouvernement.
The Douala Port Authority has received the green light of government to immediately undertake all actions to turn the tides concerning depreciating port infrastructures.
Sur la fluidité des opérations portuaires.
The Director General of the Douala Seaport and his collaborators are also expected to enhance collaboration with the Kribi Port Authority.
Je demande à Monsieur le Directeur Général.
I asked the Director General to finalize, in consultation with the Kribi Port Authority, studies on the creation of a national transport company between the two seaports.
Entre les ports de Kribi et de Douala.
Efforts have been underway to transform and develop the Douala Seaport since 2017.
And that brings us to the end of this midday bilingual newscast on EQUINOX Television. Thanks for watching. We shall be back at 4 p.m.